Um, I've been sitting with this idea a while, and I don't know what I'm gonna title this. But I just it's been almost 5 years since the last time I did this, closer to four, but it's time for this time. It's like an old man yelling at clouds. I turned 20, what, 13, 14 days ago, and now I'm about to complain about 2025 ranked Bedwars as a 20-year-old. Like, yeah, everyone can call me unemployed. Like, everyone can tell me get a job, get a hobby, whatever like, just quit, like, whatever. But it's time for, I guess, my problems with the ranked Bedwars part two. Uh, I guess this is ooh, I got the how clip culture ruined ranked Bedwars. That's like my honest analogy on a lot of it, but also it's just I don't know. I like talking about this stuff. I'm passionate about the game that I grew up playing. I guess I don't know. I'm one of the few people still left. But I don't know. The big issue with nowadays ranked, I would say, is that everybody sucks. Like, you guys are all terrible, and I'm not like I'm terrible too, but I just mean like there's so many people who play, who've been playing for years, they just like make mistakes that I just like it leaves me dumbfounded. Like, I'm just like, what? Like I I'm I'm coming up with a lot of video ideas. I'm a video idea, but one thing that I wanted to do is like my pet peeves, and this is one that I have to like really drive home to like first like start my story of like how people don't like learn the game, and then I'll talk about why I think so. But I was playing a tourney, and I had Speedy on my team, someone who's been playing for what, like 2 3 years, and he bridges from right out in front of my bed, which a lot of you guys listening probably don't go, oh, what's the problem with that? And the issue with that is, um, when you bridge right out in front of your bed, you there then make the path from your bridge to your bed shorter, which is just not ideal. If you're gonna make a bridge, if you're gonna have the most optimized gameplay, you want your bridge to be away from your bed, so they don't walk down your bridge right into your bed. You don't want to walk up you don't want to walk up your bridge right off the bed, just all this stuff. And then I just like I've always had all my complaints about how I don't think you need to be really good at PvP to be a good ranked player, and that has always gotten backlash from stupid players. You guys are all stupid. Again, I'm stupid too, but I just like insulting people apparently. Um, but I just nobody thinks the game, and me and Jediah are losers. Mostly me. I'll take the brunt. Jediah just loves Bed Wars, and I'm just a loser who tries to figure out why things are the way they are. So there's like a little bit of a disconnect there. But I just go, how did this happen? Where like we have all these like players who are playing all day, and yeah, they get mechanically better, and that's the thing where it's like that's why it pains me, cause like, you know, I'm a loser. I'm trying to see the evolution of my game, but it's not like we're not getting better. Like, we're getting mechanically better, but it just stagnated at like people are dumb. Especially like for something like 4v4 Bed Wars, there is not much game sense you have to learn. It is so simple, yet people still haven't learned the simple stuff. And I'm that really long-winded intro is to say I want to figure out why. I um I think this is more of a discussion because I like discussions. But I think the number one aspect of all the players getting worse, I'm going to blame on the community, including myself. But I mean, there's a lot of things to blame. I think I'll start with the rule sets. If you go back through ranked Bed Wars, it has been 2 years since Invis has been allowed all game, the whole game. And I think it's been 3 years since ladders have been allowed. Or, I mean, ladders have been banned. And don't get me wrong, I'm way more for allowing everything than I am banning everything, but I think one of the things I will thank older ranked Bedwars, again, like, what am I doing talking about ranked Bedwars so seriously? Like, I'm passionate. Like, I gotta accept my passion, but I'm a loser, God. But I think, with how simple of a game 4v4 is, it changed up the rules enough where you were playing a different game. Like, not really, but, like, you were trying new things, you were thinking the game a little more. But now it's like, and this is where I tie in, like, the clip culture, everybody just wants to top fight. I mean, I'm fucking, I'm not gonna say I'm better than that, and I'm above that. You know how many times I'm just like, bro, I don't feel like going low mid for that guy. Like, I just want to chill top bridge, and I just want to fight people. And I think that's just, like, the nature of the game is, like, you just don't want to deal with the guy being annoying. But the part is that's Bedwars. Like, if someone's the last player alive, and they're running around trying to win, and even if they're just doing it and you view it as stolen time, I'm not going to get mad at that. I'm not gonna get mad at the other person for winning. Like, sure, it's annoying, but the rule set has, instead of trying to make the players play the game differently and try things and play a certain way, we're, like, stuck in this rule set of, like, well, we can't allow things like obby and stuff like that because we don't want the really long games. But we also can't allow invis off the start for 2 years because why? What is the argument against that if we hate long games? That's my issue with this all is you don't hate long games, and that's not what you guys are trying to avoid. You guys are trying to avoid like my brain. You guys are trying to avoid the no P, like the top, like not having your top fight, not having your PvP, you know. That's why all the rule sets now are, oh, you know, you guys can get your PvP for the first 12 minutes of the game with this current season. Invis is allowed at Emerald 2, so yeah, blah, blah, blah. So you guys can get your 12 minutes of PvP, and then you guys can just spam invises back and forth to, like, finish the game because, you know, we don't want the game to go on for too long, right? Because we don't want all those pesky little long games. Which, so it's like they get their top fight, then they get their invis, and then that's the end of the game. Where my argument is, like, I like different rule sets. I think when invis allowed at a certain time and some things allowed at a certain time is, like, a good implement, but I think now it's just overused as an excuse to, like, dole down the game. God. Like, I was like, I'm more thinking of, like, well, we've reached the point where it's like, why not experiment with something's allowed to a certain point? Like, why not have a rule set where you can invis the first 10 minutes of the game, and then, well, it wouldn't be 10, it'd be 6 because we go off the diamond markers, but why not we can invis for this part of the game, and then you can't invis? Like, that would be interesting. Like, more interesting, makes people play differently, makes people think the game differently. But now we're, like, setting these rule sets where it's like, you just go top bridge, you just PvP, and then you worry about the emeralds when it's, like, time to invis. I don't know. Maybe part of this is just, like, cope, but I don't know. I want the players to get better. Like, why are they so bad? Like, even for me, it's, like, a lot of players don't use ladders. And I think ladders are a really good part of the game. And I think part of the fair thing I say is if you take away ladders from players who don't use ladders, they will actually, like, tend to use ladders maybe more in the future because you realize how good it is when you don't have it. Like, that's just things like that where it's like, I mean, what's the argument for sticks not being allowed during the game? Like, why never allow bows again at any point? I understand bows not allowed off the start because it's annoying, but, like, really? It's supposed to be competitive. What is competitive about like banning things that are annoying. And now I'll go really in the depth on this season rules where it's like, you really are just making it easy for the bad players, and to be, all you have to do is you don't have to be smarter, you just have to be mechanically better, which I don't mind. Maybe I'm coping because I'm not as mechanically good as a lot of the good players. Probably a lot of the high tier pubs players are better mechanically than me. Maybe not, maybe so, but I mean, like, they're bad. They're still bad. Like, I don't know. Can't hold a combo for the life of me, but I mean, it's like this season. It's like I get so annoyed when I see the rule set and I see things like only one invis at a time, because I just think, if the other team has enough invis or enough emeralds and pressure to double invis you, that's your fault. You lost that game. You shouldn't have the game be easier to you because, like, you deserve to be in that situation. It's like the same thing with, like, if you get watered, somebody breaks your bed, all these things, you deserve to be in that situation. They're not abusing something that you also can't do yourself. Or, like, they won fights, which is, I guess the biggest argument is for a lot of these rule sets is they actually make fights less important. You lose first fight, and they get the emeralds back. They get those 2 emeralds back, okay. They can either protect your diamonds or their diamonds, or they can save them for the invis in 11 minutes. Like, you don't get punished for losing your fights. Like, but when you lose a 1v1 on top bridge, and it's Emerald 2, and then you guys were contesting, but you lost that fight, and now they have pressure, and now they invis you, now they get all the M's, it's like, it's actually more skilled gameplay. Because the fights actually mean more. Yes, there's less chance for clips and all this stuff, which I think, I don't know, I didn't really talk much about that. Maybe this is just my problem with Ranked Bedwars Part 2. But, there's like that portion of it, which is, I don't know, like, it just makes makes the fights less important. You lose first fight, you might lose a diamond gen. Let's do the math. We're 2 minutes into the game, 3 minutes into the game, you lose a diamond gen, you're down 5 diamonds. Like, if you do the math, you do the equations, that's really easy to come back from. Which, if we don't want long games, which is what you guys say, then why not make losing the first fight more punishing? Also, I don't know, I guess I just want to see new things, and I want to see the players have to adapt to new things, because maybe then I think it helps players get better. I think a lot of people just do things mindlessly because you don't have to think about your consequences. Maybe that's just because at the end of the day, it's like a bunch of teenagers who are just playing this game as an escape, and they're not losers like me, but I don't know. I think another problem that I wanted to touch on, which I'm kind of sad I didn't touch on until like 13 minutes into this, is I think I'm fair to say this is somebody who's, like, been Pugs, and I'm kind of, like, I kind of understand the reason for both sides of it and everything involved. I think the skill-based roles, which put air quotations on that, are probably the worst thing to happen. Because we don't look at people winning games and go, oh, that player's good. We determine it based on roles and montages. Like, if you get elo, whatever, like, I don't care, whatever. I agree that, like, things like Q dodging and Q selecting really shouldn't be a thing, but even if you're Q selecting and getting elo, you still have to win your games. There's still, like, some sort of, like, being better than at least the bad players that comes along with it. Will you then show yourself in All-Stars? Maybe, I don't know. But I think that's why the biggest issue with me is with the skill-based roles, what happened is the tournaments stopped including the new players. It stopped including the new friend groups. Because, I mean, for me, the way that I got better, and the way that I kind of got good at the things that I got good at and kind of, like, developed in my own role was, I came up in a blessed time of Bedwars. God. Oh, the Bedwars when I was coming up, man. You guys will never understand what it was like. But I mean, like, I just always like, I was always playing tourneys. Like, I've been playing Bedwars tourneys since 2018. Like, I've just been around. But especially during COVID time when there was a tourney every weekend, and it was a sign-up party of four, like sign-up tournament, like party of four, or whatever it's that. It was a sign-up tournament. I would be like, you get your friends, and you go, okay. So you'd play ranked for the week, not really for elo. I mean, you're trying to get your all-stars, you're trying to get your elo, but you're trying to get good for the tournaments on the weekend, you know? Like, Stab. Like, I will be very honest, I don't see Stab's vision in spending 2,000, like what, almost $3,000 of his own money on a ranked Bedwars tournament, but I'm so thankful for you, Stab. Thank you. Like, because I mean, like, look, like, Zolx comes back, like, people are going to come back and, you know, they got to get in their mechanical primes, because, you know, they got to sign up with their team and play the tourney. And I think I'll go back to the skill-based rules ruining the development of the players. Development of the players, bro. It's Minecraft. But you're not playing with your friend group very often because, you know, now that all the tourneys are picking tourneys and all that stuff, there's no sign-up tourneys. If you're not a Pugs player, you don't get to play. And now I'll go into why I understand why it's this way. The good players don't want to waste their time playing against all these bad teams that half of the time no-show because it's just boring. Like, when you have to get on to play a tournament and you just play these bad teams, then you just wait to play the next team and stuff like that, like, it sucks. Like, it sucks. Tournaments like that sucked because you spent half of the time waiting. And then I know why it sucks from a management perspective because, bro, hosting those tourneys is such a pain in the ass. I've never done it, but I can tell how much of a pain in the ass it is. People don't show up. People, like, just complain. And this is why everyone just hosts doubles tournaments now. Bro, you don't gotta pick a rule set. All you gotta do is just show up with your teammate. You guys play. We'll just score the games, and then we're done. It's also way more entertaining. Like, just way easier. So that's why I think that's why tournaments have gone that way more. But I think that's caused the issue of you're not playing with your four people. The lack of sign-up tournaments are making it so you're not playing with your friend group. You're not playing with people and trying to improve and all get better as a team, you know? Like, Sheep would do something wrong or I'd do something wrong and I'd have my friends holding me accountable back then. Like, you were, like, again, it's Bedwars, but you're still trying to get better. But now it's just like, you queue ranked. Yeah, I guess you're queuing for elo. I mean, because, like, that's the clearest path of, like, making anything, you know, you make a name through getting all-stars and making elo, because there's no tournaments to make a name in, because we gatekeep all the people out, which I understand for the most part, but that's why I was like, if there's no skill-based rules, it would just all be friend groups, and, now it's way too deep, and now I could get into, like, how the monetization of, like, pups is, like, dumb to begin with. But also, it's funny, because I bought Glosser pups, so I really can't complain, but Glosser is really funny. I love Glosser. Glosser, you're going to be 2026 preview. I hope you're still... I hope you're watching to this point, Glosser. But I think now I get 18 minutes in, and I go... Do I think there's a solution? What would I do? And I think an idea... that I really want... Also, I think we don't play enough maps in ranked. That was something that just came to mind. There's, like... I can do so many ranked rants. I can do these forever. If you guys want more of these, like, the video, like... I don't know, like, 70 likes, and I'll rant about something else in ranked. But here would be my solution. So, if you guys have been around for a while... Jedi... I was talking to you about Jedi, and Jedi didn't even play. So, back in, I think, 2021, 2022... It's probably 2021. That was, like, before I even Butterfly clicked. They added the scrim server, which isn't, like, what most people think when they hear scrims, which is just, you know, pinging and getting people on to play a bunch of games that don't actually mean anything just to get better. But what the scrim server was, is it was like a Party of 4 season, but it was, like, we opened the queue for a short amount of time, you have your roster of players, and you just queue, and then you queue the other parties of 4, and you just get as many games in as you like can in the time slot, and it wasn't like there wasn't there wasn't rules, or there wasn't like a set rules. There's like a set base rules, and each team could ban like an item. So like all these items were allowed. I think it was like emeralds, KB sticks, water. I might be missing one more. Ladders, like stuff like that. So what you would do is you would then queue the team you were playing, and then if like say we were queuing like Braden's team. I didn't play much then because that was actually when I was learning a butterfly click. But then you'd like play that team and you'd be like, okay, that team is better at invising than us. They're gonna win a lot more of the fights. So if we can just make it a game where we play diamonds, so we'd always ban emeralds. We'd always ban emeralds against them. We'd ban like sticks and emeralds, or it'd always get banned. So then we just play for the water, play the diamonds. And I think something like that coming back, where it'd be like a weekend thing, like run by Rank Bedwars, where it's like probably stop doing Party of Four seasons and then just have them stick to solo and doubles, and maybe be a summer thing, but just have it be like a separate server, separate thing. It'd probably be easier to do a separate server because I know how it would just be like open queue for a certain amount of time, and it's just about getting the games in for like the 4 weekend thing, and then the best teams get to play in like that All Stars, and those teams, and I think it'd be better with the bigger map pool and all that stuff, because I think it really addresses the problem of players playing within their friend group. So you have to set your roster, which is your friend group, which I think having friends and knowing people within the game and getting close with them, it helps you improve. And I think it also tackles like the problem of like good players get to play good players, bad players get to play bad players, and just I know Rank Bedwars has a lot on this plate, and I think that would have been probably something that could have been worked into the guilds thing, and I just think that is my one solution to try and fix a lot of this. Is the players have control over what rule set they want to play against a certain team, so it forces them to play differently. It forces both teams, like if one team can't beat it, like isn't good at invising and thinks they're gonna play diamonds better or win, just dominate top, but they don't want to worry about emeralds, and you ban the emeralds, stuff like that. I mean, I think now Rank Better has actually reached a point where it'd be more interesting to just give each team a couple amount of bans and like more items, just have it be way more fluid, because I think the mechanical skill has reached a sense where we use items way better than we did back then. But I think that would be my solution, because I mean you play well in that time that open queue slot is open. You do well in that time, and it's also like you have to grind it, because that's the way it was during the scrims. Like you had to grind it against bad teams. You're trying to play fast games, but so you're allowing certain things to try to make the game go faster, which then also makes those teams see how you play that way, play against it that way, and then you beat those bad teams. And I mean, I think it was like MMR or whatever, like the matchmaking was, like, or like skill-based like, you won more games, you played against the better teams, so you're playing the better teams, and you're playing differently against the better teams, and I don't know. I think if anyone is listening to this, like Maroons, like shout out, I think like you try to implement this with like the guild system some way or something like that. I think that would go a long way of just keeping the old players like still interested, because I mean you don't have to every time we do a Party of Four season all these players come back. But what if you just did the scrim server on the side? You don't gotta do Party of Four, which Party of Four is terrible for the new players. I will forever say this, it's really fun for me. I love Party of Four. But like I look at like a lot of my friends who are like, since I stream and I have like my own community within Ranked, I'm watching all these players who like don't really have friends within the community try to find like 4 people to queue Ranked with. And it's hard. You spend more time finding a party than you do actually getting to play, unless you're just solo queuing. And if you get to 600 plus, you're just like you're just getting drained right back down. So I think I'm not a big fan of Party of Four seasons, but I like parties of 4 playing against each other. So I am way more towards experimenting more with rule sets, being more adventurous. Also, there is no such thing as a side map, either ban blue or allow blue. Invasion without blue allowed would be interesting. And I can go side on every map. I can make any map a side map. So I'm going to complain. I could go side right now on a map and go, what makes this not a side map? The fact that we don't bridge side to it off the start. If we really wanted to, we could. You could do that at any map. If you really wanted to go side off the start, you could. So what is a side map? But I think that's what I was like. Even like a scrims, like I don't know. That is my solution to the problem with ranked Bedwars. If anyone else wants to like weigh in on solutions, but yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, like, subscribe. Enjoy the gameplay in the background. I don't even know what I'm throwing behind this yet, but yeah, if this gets like 70 to 80 likes, I'll talk about like my pet peeves, or I'll talk more in depth about how like clip culture ruined the game. We might even make a game sense guide. But yeah, 70 to 80 likes. I don't know. Just like the video. And yeah, you guys can get more content like this. I enjoy sitting in front of my mic and talking, so I will always do it. But yeah, guys, bye.